Okay, this is a video to show how I would check Project 1B. I apologize for coming so late. This is in response to a bunch of excellent questions during office hours, and I was tied up all day, so I'm posting it now. I have the Project 1B from Kiara. I'm not going to show it, but this is her script, and I've downloaded it and put it in the 1B directory, which is in users hank 212 1B. So I'm going to run the script by saying proj1b, and then I'll give it some name like 212 test, and of course it will fail because I just downloaded it and it didn't have execute permissions. So now if I run it, well, first off I'm going to do an ls. In the directory there's only the script, and now I'm going to run it. And by the way, this last time when you saw it, I didn't press enter, I pressed Control C, so it didn't execute. Now it's going to execute, and I do an ls, and there's a directory called 212 test, and then I can inspect what this script made. So I can do an ls-l, and so it shows me the script, but it shows me the directory it created, 212 test. So again, there's all this language about you're not supposed to make something called rootdir. Rootdir is just the argument that's being passed in. So here's the argument. In this case, 212 test. It could be anything. And so I've done a long listing, ls-l. And if I look at this, it says it's a directory, and the permissions are read, write, execute for the owner, read, execute for the group, and read, execute for other. In this case, I didn't specify what the permission should be for the rootdir, so it really could have been anything. Okay, so now I'm going to go into 212 test, and I do an ls, and there's a problem here. Mine says d and then lowercase ir1 and then d lowercase ir2, and these are all caps. They should match. And if I do an ls-l, I can see the permissions for dir1 are rwx, so that's the user, so that's a 7, and that's a 7, and that's a 0. And if I look over here, it's 770, perfect. And over here is a 7 and another 7 for the group, and then a 5 for the other. So if you're not used to reading this, this is, this will be some practice. Again, it's the 3 for the owner, the 3 for the group, and the 3 for the other. And then the execute is in the 1's bit, the write is in the 2's bit, and the read is in the 4's bit. So this will be 1 for the x there, plus 2 plus 4 is 7, and then this is 7 for the group and 0 for the other. And I could keep traversing the directories. So now I'm in dir1, and I do an ls-l, and we can see for dir3 it's a directory and it's got nothing, so that's a 0, exactly the permissions it should be. And for file 1, it is a 400, and so it's 0 and 0, and then there's the R and the 4's bit, and then the other two are 0, so that's perfect. Of course, if I try to go into dir3, it'll say I can't do it. So for me, I'm just testing, so I can change the permissions, no problem. And so, this was directly created as 0, but then I can't go in there, so I'm going to just change it so I can go in there and take a look and see what's in that directory. And I do that, and I see that there's a dir4. Again, these are capitals, and it should be D and then a lowercase ir. And this one has a permission of 750, which is just right. And then if I do an ls-l and dir4, we get file 3, which has permissions of 200, perfect, and file 4, which has permissions of 666. So now I'm in the directory dir4, which is in dir3, which is in dir1, which is in 212 test, which is within the 1B directory I started in. And I heard someone say that whenever they want to get back to top, they just press CD and enter. If you press CD and enter, it will take you back to your home directory. If you press CD and hyphen, it will take you back to the directory you were in before. So that's cool. You can always get back to the previous directory by saying CD hyphen. So now I'm going to get back up the directory structure as I would, because I would not go to the home directory every time. I want to move up. And so if you go CD dot dot, that will move you dot dot as the parent directory. If I do a pwd, now I'm in dir1, dir3. I can do it twice more. So now I'm going to the parent directory of the parent directory, and I'm back in the 212 test directory, and I can go to dir2, and do an ls-l, and file 2 had 640. So this was a great first attempt. All the permissions were right. The only thing that was wrong with this one was the DIRs were all capital. So I hope people find this helpful for how to check whether or not their script is working correctly. I guess the last thing I wanted to say was just a little bit in terms of how scripts are made, that I could, I'm not going to show the example script, but I can make another one called like proj1 try 2, and then I can put in some make commands like make dir, Hank, and then cd Hank and say make dir, childs. And then, so this is the Unix commands that I type in the shell can go in this script, and then I can say chmod on that script and run it. And then now we have a Hank directory, and inside the Hank directory we have a child's directory. So it's really just a matter of taking the Unix commands you want to do and putting them inside the script. I know that this is kind of coming late in the project prompt, and I apologize to anyone who struggled and really would have appreciated seeing this video earlier. Really, it's a matter of I'm just making this video because there were some great questions in office hours today. So this is in response to office hours. Encourage you all to be coming to office hours and asking questions, and I'll do my best to make more videos like this. Okay, I'll see you all in class tomorrow.